Hi there, and for those that don't know, my name is Munsey. What you're about to see is a short video of how I took apart the front brakes of my Honda Accord recently. In it, I just go over a short step-by-step guide of how I done it, a couple of things to look out for when you're taking off the wheels and just when you're messing about with the suspension in general, just to see if anything's near failure. And there's a kind of blow through at the end, just showing how simple and easy it is, and a comparison between a good set of pads and a short or ruined set of pads. If anyone's got any feedback or any comments, feel free. But without further ado, let's crack on.
So there's a couple of easy things I like to try first that I've been taught over the years. Some of it's just by other people on YouTube. Some's just something I read on a forum that has turned out to be true, or some's just advice from friends or mechanics or whatever. The simplest one is to just leave the wheel attached, give it a wiggle, see if you can feel anything. Obviously I've got a couple of nuts off just now, so there'll be a slight amount, but it shouldn't be anything. So what you do is you put it front and back of the tyre and you try and give it a shake. If you feel anything there, it's likely to be a track rod end. Then you try it this way, so top and bottom. As you see, that's pretty much me just moving the actual car. I'll just go over this kind of quickly then. I thought I could get away with my previous knowledge. I've not looked at this caliper at all. It turns out it's ever so slightly different. It's not bolts holding the calipers on, it's torque screws. There needs to be male torques that go in it. There's a bolt here, and there's obviously one further down there. There's two caps over them. You pull the cap ends off, you just try and be nice and easy and not damage anything. The bolts have a plastic sheath that go over them right here. You can see them retract as you break it. You have to really pull it loose or pull it completely free to be able to pry it apart. I'll just show you it coming apart. Or not, as the case may be. Just a bit of finesse. Taking this off. Jesus. Swap the camera. Always try and set the caliper somewhere nice where it doesn't put any strain on the hose. Jesus. And as you can see, this is actually well worn and I'll need to replace it before I leave back to Oban. The other small sections, every bit is worn. To be honest, they're really badly worn. The disc itself looks okay, so that's not too much of a concern. So obviously reassemble it, just the complete reverse. Highly recommend copper grease, helps keep everything nice and loose. Try not to get it on the brake discs. Now you can just force it back over, obviously because I'm not putting new pads in, I don't have to wind the caliper back. But I'm doing it purely just to see how loose it all is. Preferably if you can use a bit of wood, unfortunately I can't get away with it here. And as you're winding it back, make sure either the cap for the brake fluid is open or that you've bleeding it afterwards. but the nipple will need to be open. The pressure needs to go somewhere. As you can see, I can move it relatively comfortably with one hand. Which suggests that it's nice and free. As you can see, it's all going back nice and comfortably. It's a great idea to help the bolts. There should be a torque figure for this. I'm not entirely sure what it is. I've always found hand tight to be sufficient for it, purely because I take it apart all the time. I think it seems to work fine for me. I'll see if I can find what the torque figure actually is for it. So, and that's it. It goes back together nice and cushy. Of course, we attach a spring. Totally the wrong tool for the job. I just want to make sure the spring's in place, as it seems to pull it all nice and tight. Yep. So one of the issues that I might be feeling is possibly just the front pads. Everything else in the suspension seems to be nice and firm.